Caribbean silver. We love to think of pirates, ships, and tropical themes. I think Caribbean silver is honestly something that we romanticize as kids, but for some reason forget about as adults. But today, we will change all of that as we look at this fantastic coin from the nation of Barbados. I find the Caribbean to put out some of the most underrated bullion coins in the entire world. There's a wide margin of diverse themes and series within these cluster of Greater and Lesser Antilles Islands, and the crown jewel, in my opinion, is the island of Barbados. I've never seen a coin come from Barbados I did not like, and the overall diversity of themes and quality has me put them above all of the other EC8 nations like this, as well as standards like this British Virgin Islands Pegasus. Today, we get to dive into another fantastic coin from the island nation of Barbados. If you would like to know about the history and culture of this nation, you must watch my original video over this island. It goes back to the Arawak people. That video was over the flag-bearing coin, pun intended, in the Barbados Trident, which is a fantastic and unique series in its own right. Fast forward to our coin today, we have a very unique coin in this green monkey that replays the bittersweet history of this island. If you study nature, you would be wise to note that there are monkeys of various types that live in Central and South America, so it is not a crazy idea to think that these islands could have monkeys that maybe were brought by native Arawak or Carib tribes, but you would be wrong. This green monkey is the only monkey found on the island of Barbados, which begs the question, how did it get here? For that, we need to understand what kind of monkey this is. This is what we would describe as an old world monkey, meaning it originates historically in the Eastern Hemisphere and more particularly in an area of Africa like Senegal or Gambia, where their habitats are very dry sale woodlands to the edge of rainforests. It's also commonly seen in coastal regions where they are known to feed on the seashore for things like crabs. It also takes a wide variety of other foods, including fruits and invertebrates. This makes a Caribbean nation a great place where these monkeys can thrive. But once again, how did an African monkey end up in Barbados? Well, again, if you study the history, you will know that Barbados was once a place where the land was tilled, planted, and harvested on the foundation of slavery. Many of the British colonies traded goods with the Asante tribe out of what we know now to be Ghana. The Asantes were brutal and captured slaves from all over Africa for trade, and it seems that the experts believe that some of these monkeys ended up aboard these boats bound for the Caribbean. 75 or so monkey generations later, we have these green monkeys of today, also known as Sabius monkeys. So when you see this coin, you are looking not just at a monkey that is native to Barbados, you are looking at a history lesson. This is the fantastic depth of many bullion coins waiting to be discovered, and is why I love them so much. Now that you understand this amazing history behind the coin, let's put it on our 60-point scale. On the Obverse, we are met with a reserved representation of an ornate coat of arms. We go over the coat of arms in depth in our previous Barbados videos, but basically we have a dolphin symbolic of the fishing industry and the pelican symbolic of Pelican Island, also a native bird of course, holding the shield of Barbados, which features the Barbados flower, the bearded fig tree, and some sugarcane stalked up to the top. I would love to have seen a bit of texture in the background, but it is a well done obverse overall. I score it a 7 as the lack of texture does provide a lot of negative space. When we move to the reverse, we have a beautiful and unique scene. I must start out by saying how wonderful I think it is that there in bold it states Caribbean silver. This image is bigger than one nation, as these monkeys are now found on many of the Lesser Antilles islands such as St. Kitts and Nevis. One could easily have just made this about Barbados, but is an intentional decision to make this scene a Caribbean scene and not just one about Barbados. Huge props for that. I also love the way the foliage and monkey interact with the ring. It adds so much depth and focus. Our furry friend is hanging on by a prehensile tail in a way that is both playful and curious, and if I were to guess, I would say this is a juvenile, as the musculature is not developed and the ear-to-head ratio is quite large. It is a curious scene and one that I really enjoy. I score it a strong 9. Now for mintage. This coin is minted as an APMEX exclusive, joining the pelican, octopus, and seahorse, and hoists a very low mintage of 7,000. This strong number makes me think that this coin could really grow in popularity in the coming years. I scored a 9. Cultural significance is next. This is a coin that, as mentioned, has a theme of the green monkey. We discussed how this monkey is woven into the tapestry of history in Barbados going back hundreds of years. It is impossible, therefore, to score it less than a 10. Collectibility is now where our focus shifts. Caribbean silver, for some reason, does not get the promotional provenance as other world areas. I attribute this to a couple of reasons, but mostly I think it has to do with population density and distribution. The Caribbean does not hold many people, and the value of their economics is now in tourism. This being said, I think that very collectible markets would honestly be on the shores of these islands rather than just on online bullion dealers, but I'm not a mint master and do not make those decisions. This coin right here today is a very good example of why these coins are stifled in collectibility. This is an APMEX exclusive. If you do not shop at APMEX, you could only hope to see one of these on the secondary market. This being said, if a distribution model had them sold where the tourists are on site to commemorate their trips, you would see Caribbean silver take off. Until that day, it's unfortunately undervalued, so I scored a 7. Now for uniqueness, our last category. I love coins that feature a specific species rather than a generic animal. This really helps with the overall significance to a nation, but also helps with the specifics in the art. A great example of getting it wrong is in Anguilla, which is not far from Barbados. These two coins feature things found in Anguilla in lobsters and eels. What they got wrong is the species. They have a spiny lobster and a slipper lobster used in culinary food often in the island of Anguilla, but on this coin we have a North Atlantic lobster which is found in cold water. This eel is actually the species and genus Anguilla anguilla, which is the Spanish word for eel, and it is found in Europe only. The island gets its name because the explorers that found the island thought that the shape looked like an eel, and they knew only the European eel, so they called it Anguilla. But there are many eels that would be awesome to focus on from Anguilla, such as the spotted or chain moray, but as we see, this is not that species, and species do matter. This coin is from Barbados, and it does a fantastic job of highlighting the actual specific species and thus makes it both accurate and unique. So it scores a 10, which brings us to our final thoughts and score. This fantastic furry coin swings across the line at a 52 out of 60. This is a huge score and honestly higher than I thought it would have scored before I researched the monkey. How this little critter is woven into the history of Barbados is fantastic and a story I cannot wait to tell my future grandkids one day. It is one I think should be considered for every collection, and it is elite in its status by scoring a 52 out of 60, and as an APMEX exclusive. If you're going to go shop at APMEX to get one, I would appreciate it if you considered using my affiliate link, as it helps me keep moving forward on this channel. Thank you, as always, for watching and everything that you do for this channel, and please remember to always stay classy and current with the culture of currency.